Got a bite. Yep, there he is. Hey, this one's pulling pretty good. First flounder of the day down here in Belmar. Not a terrible one. There we go. He just fell off and got himself hooked again.
Summertime, fluke fishing. I'm here with Steve Horvath. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good one.
Got another one. Oh, guess what we got, Bob? We got a sea robin.
Oh, there we go. It's a nice big one.
Here comes one, just ate yours right there. Swam up in the bottom. Oh boy. Almost like our saltwater version of a catfish.
Yeah.
Just lift her up here. Oh.
They are the most ugliest fishes I've ever seen. Anyway, we're down here on the Shark River. It's early summer. We got some great weather for us today. A little bit of wind, but we're down here flounder fishing. And Steve and I have just a tradition about coming down here every year.
Is that the ugliest smallmouth bass you ever saw?
God, they're prehistoric. And we're coming down here. We're just drifting. It's pretty simple.
That's it. We drift with the current. We take note of the spots on the land where we caught a fish. We use that to landmark it, and we just repeat the drifts over areas where we caught them. It's really cool.
A little better one, Steve?
Yeah, pulling pretty good.
Get out of the way.
The nice thing is, Bob, we got this real light tackle we're using. We're using freshwater stuff.
Yeah, really. That's a trout rod here.
Yep. You know why it feels so heavy?
Why?
I just lost the one. I had two on.
Oh, you had one on the top hook, one on the
Yeah, I had
bottom.
a double header. I had one on top, one on the bottom. We'll settle for one, though.
Yeah. Again, we're using light tackle.
Yeah, we're using trout or smallmouth bass tackle. Nothing real heavy. And we're using braided line, and that helps us get down to the bottom with a lot less weight. And then it's a lot sportier. You know, it's really a lot of fun catching them on this light stuff.
Yeah, and again with that braided line, it's a lot more sensitive, and you could really pick it up because we're just basically drifting. So we're going to go through patches of up and down.
Right.
So we want to feel that because sometimes you'll feel there'll be some cabbage stuff in there and that kind of stuff.
And when you get the grass and stuff on there, reel in because you're not catching anything.
That's right. That's right. And for the braided line, Steve, what pound test is this stuff?
Well, we're using 10-pound braid, and that's about the same diameter as 2 or 4-pound mono, depending on which brand you use. Mm-hmm. So we're getting to the bottom with a 3/8 ounce jig head, where in a lot of other areas or other tackle, you might use an ounce or an ounce and a half sinker.
Right, just to get down there.
Right, and that gives us better feel.
Right.
You know, we know what's going on real well.
And the bites are it's a little tap or a boom, but you really feel it. Because we're going over some stuff right now. You can see my rod just bouncing up and down there.
I just missed one. And you can see there was one on there, pulled the actual grub down on the hook.
Yeah. Well, you got it out, Steve. Just talk a little bit about that grub at the bottom, what it is. It's a little secret we got here.
Yeah, we're using a gulp grub. I don't know what they put in that gulp, but the flounder, fluke, whatever you want to call them, they love it. And, we're fishing 2 different colors, one kind of like a natural color and one chartreuse. And I'd have to say that, boy, if 100 people were down here, 90 of them would be using chartreuse. That's by far the most popular color.
Yeah, that seems to be the one. And again, you can use a regular chartreuse twister tail too.
You won't catch as many.
Yeah, the gulp really seems to be the real ticket to do that.
some other boats out here today.
Yeah.
We're in the channel here, but what happens is we're kind of staying off to the side so that we're not actually impeding anybody's progress.
Right.
You know, that is a problem. If you're out in the middle of a channel or it's a narrow channel and you're blocking boats, you're not doing the right thing.
Right. Yeah. That's.
You might even get a pretty good ticket.
Yeah, they don't like you that much.
No, not at all.
But again, just common courtesy. Just we move out of the way. We move over to the side here a little bit.
Exactly.
Then we can come across again. And
Right.
everybody gives everybody pretty much right away.
Yep.
When you got a bigger boat coming, let's see.
Feeling pretty good?
With this light tackle, man, this is so much fun.
Yep. Oh, it's a fluke.
It's a fluky.
Yep. There you go.
That's a pretty good size one too.
Yep. Now for the people at home, Bob, we're not doing a whole lot. We're just letting this down to the bottom.
Right.
We get it down there, we shake it, and we feel the fluke eat it, and then we kind of let them hold it for a second and set the hook.
Got a pair of pliers here.
Yeah, yep. We got pliers right here.
Now let's talk about that a little bit more though, Steve. Just bouncing it, you got to get that kind of a feel for that. Feel on the bottom, what you're feeling on the bottom.
Exactly. Oh, I got one. And that's all that happened. I was bouncing it on the bottom. I felt the fish eat it. I let him have it a little bit. Set the hook. And another fluke.
Now look at the color of yours and look at the color of mine.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Just like the bottom.
Yeah, that's important. And you'll get them a little different colors too.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll put this now. This is not a keeper fish.
No, a keeper fluke is 18 inches. I believe it's 6 fish per day limit. And we might get some big ones. We might not. We might get one great big one.
Yeah.
But what we are doing is we're catching a bunch of fish.
Yeah, and just arithmetically, when you go through that many fish, you're going to catch some keeper fish.
That's
and this
it.
is a good time of the year too, right?
Sure.
This early
For me,
spring.
earlier in the season, June, even late May, you catch more keepers than you do other times of the year. The fish get picked through.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on in the year, like early September, as the fish are leaving again and they're moving out here, then you can catch a few more keepers also.
Right.
But you can come here virtually every day and catch 50 or 100.
Yeah, and that's kind of fun if you have a family.
Right.
You know, you can come down here with your family.
Yep.
They do have boat rentals.
Yep.
You do have to bring your own tackle, though. That's one thing, and it's really simple tackle. I mean,
Exactly.
any small fishing rod, or will do. And just
Virtually everybody that owns a rod and reel owns a rod and reel that they can do this with.
yeah, spinning tackles easy. So you don't have to cast a bar. You're just dropping it over the side.
Exactly.
And just
And the only reason that I wouldn't use like the Snoopy push button stuff is you do need a drag that'll slip when you catch a fish, and they generally don't have good drag systems.
yeah.
But even the cheapest spinning rods that you buy at your discount stores, it's good enough.
Yeah, and the other thing when you said about the drag and such, is that you may catch a 6-pound
Or 10.
fish, so
Right.
you do need a little bit of drag.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And again, we're just drifting here, and that's important to just get your drift correct.
Right.
Sometimes now we got a little bit of wind, so that's kind of chasing us around a little bit. But
Yep.
again, we're just drifting real slow, real easy, and just bouncing it on the bottom.
That's all it takes.
It's a nice one.
Fighting good, Bob?
Yeah.
No, you got me at a disadvantage. I'm sitting here rigging my tackle,
Ah.
and you're pulling this one on me. Are we going to need the net?
I think
You know what? Yes, this is a keeper.
we got a good one here, Stevie.
Let me see if I can knock him off with the net for you.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of busy right now.
Yep, he's just down in that current.
Yep.
Get him up to the top. No. And that's the thing with flounder. They can swim out of the way pretty quick. And that's a nice keeper. That's about a 20-incher.
Yeah, that's a nice fish. And again, what we did, we just moved our spot again. Just
Exactly.
a little bit, our drift ended.
Yep.
We came back over. It seems to be this way when we're drifting. We're picking
Exactly.
them up. Yeah. Okay. All right. This is a nice. Oh my gosh. He's a nice keeper, Steve.
Oh, yeah. He's at least 20 inches.
Yeah.
Now, keeper size is 18 inches. I don't know if we mentioned that before.
Right. Ugh.
And
Did I mention it? Real slippery.
yeah,
There we go. There we go.
Nice fish.
There's a nice keeper. Flounder for nice fillets today.
Yep.
It's gonna be nice. Let's get this in the box, and we'll got some more.
That's it. Got something.
That was pretty
Boy,
cool.
is it going.
That's pretty cool, Steve.
You know what happened, Bob?
What?
I think we just came up on a school of bluefish.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
We were just moving to
What
another
has to be-
spot.
And I got 2 of them on. Oh. Come here. Come here. Come here. You know what? I need the net.
Okay.
Now I got to get them both in the net at the same time.
I'd help you, but I've got 2 fish on here myself.
Ah. Pair of bluefish.
Steve, explain what just happened, because that was
Well,
pretty funny.
it was just an opportunity thing as we hit this barrel here. But we came upon a school of bluefish real quick. We grabbed the rods, made a cast,
Yeah.
and double header and
Yeah.
bluefish. You got yours in?
Not yet. I don't know what I got. It's not sea robin.
Sea robin. Feels like a pretty good one.
Got one?
Yeah.
We need that, boss?
I don't know. No. Just a decent one.
This wind is a little difficult. With,
Yep. But we're catching them.
Right. That's the only problem. It's hard to keep the boat running and fish at the same time.
Exactly.
Right, because it's a real short drift we're having here.
Yep.
But then-
Well, we're still managing to catch some fish though.
Yep, one cast and that's it. Just got to keep moving again. Now, I mentioned before, you can rent a boat right here and go out and do what we're doing, or you can just come down here and get on the bulkhead there, and where the other guys are, and just fish there. So you don't even need a boat, and they're catching fish. But it's a lot more fun out here in the water.
Oh yeah. I'm having fun that you can't even talk about right now.
What I got?
Got yourself a fluke.
I love fluky. Now he hit that one, really tapped that one good. And I got it on a high hook.
You gonna need a net on this?
I don't know. You know what? I always say that. You know when it comes up, it's
Just
It's
get a
kind
good
of-
look at them
yeah.
before you.
what we've done here. Oh God, that's fun fishing here. I love this. What we did is we had to anchor up because it's pretty close to being the keeper.
Yeah.
We had to anchor up because the wind was just we were drifting too fast. So what we did, we just put out the anchor, and we sat down, and now we'll do fan cast around the boat for a little bit, and then can I just get up here? There we go. That's a nice fish, nice fighting fish right
That might be a keeper.
Yeah, we'd have to put him on the board and see what we got here. Oh, if I can get this out. Okay, you stay right there. Stay right there. Ah, there we go. That's a nice little fluke. And again, we just set the anchor out and just control our drift a little bit more so we can get to the bottom because the wind was pushing us just a little too hard. Oh, there you go. Okay. This smells like a little bit better one, Steve. Right. There we go. Especially when it's like that. I still can't get over it. It's a nice one. Get over here. Come on. Get up into this boat right now. Oh, there we go. Right, stop. God, they're feisty fish. Come here.
That's a pretty good one you got there, Bob.
Yeah, you know, they're so feisty. I just can't get a hook.
Well, I think a big reason that you caught that fish too is the way we're anchored up now.
Yeah. There we go. That's a nice fish here. What we've done with the amount of wind we have here, we just can't get a good drift going and control the boat. So what we've done is we put out the anchor there, and we're going to fan cast around the boat for how long? Until we stop catching fish, and then we'll pull up anchor and move to another spot. We don't have to move very far. We're just going to maybe move another 20, 30 yards.
Right.
Set the anchor again, fish it, set the anchor again, and do it that way. So a lot of times you really have to get that. I mean, the wind's just thing. And again, check the wind when you come down. Sometimes the wind is just not going to, it'll be a nice day, but the wind's just totally wrong.
And sometimes the weatherman lies.
Yeah, so we can do that. Well, I got to put this one back now. So, all right, let's get a bigger one, Stevie.
Well, Bob, let's reel up. I think we've pretty much caught what's under the boat. And what we'll do is, instead of taking and motoring, we got a lot of anchor line out, and I'll untie the anchor line. I'll pull us forward here about 30 feet, and then we'll have a new spot to fish.
Like I say, we don't have to move.
Exactly. And we're just going to pull real slow on the anchor line. We don't have to pull ourselves real fast.
And then we'll just reposition ourselves again.
Exactly. It's new bottom.
Yeah.
You know, we're fishing a brand new spot here in a second.
And that's an important thing, because we got to find, we're not drifting, so we're changing the bottom all the time. We're anchoring, and then we're going to fan cast again around the boat until we pick up some fish, and then we'll move it again.
Right. Now at this point we've moved about 30 feet, which is all we may need to move. Tie it back up, and we're ready to start fishing. That's the thing, you don't have to move a lot. We fished a very small area. Now what we're going to do, we're going to move. We got a brand new area to fish. Now maybe if this doesn't pan out so good, then we'll pick up the anchor and move again, but it always gives you more options. You're not tied to one spot when you're anchored.
Yeah, so we can just move around. And one other thing, Steve, these fish, the flounder, they pretty much stay in one spot. They don't swim like a school of bait fish or anything like that.
Right, they move up and down the bank a little bit with the tide and stuff like that, and a lot of people don't know, but these fish don't spend the whole year here. I mean, these fish come from way, way offshore, out around the continental shelf, swim all the way up here to spend the summer, and then in the fall, they leave again.
And that's when they go back out to
exactly.
back out in the ocean.
Yep.
So a lot of times the fall is really good out in the ocean for the big fish too.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
And let's get fishing again.
Alrighty. Again, it's cool because we can cast to here, cast over there. We're just throwing it out a little farther now. We're not.
Exactly.
We're just covering more territory.
Yep. Now hopefully that's a flat one.
I hope so.
He's under the boat flat one, maybe.
Yeah. He's going. What is he?
Oh, I think he's got wings.
Gosh. His wings are flapping pretty good though.
I think so. No, you know what? It doesn't. You've got an oyster cracker, I believe.
Another species.
Yep, oyster cracker.
Now he hit pretty hard.
Oh yeah. And they're pretty mean looking. They've got some big teeth.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I got a bite.
Okay, well, I'll take care of this.
Yeah, you take care of that. I'm going to set the hook here in a second, maybe not. Let's see what happens here. Nope, I've got weeds.
Look at this oyster cracker. It's a really pretty fish. I like that. I got a coloration on that. Now, Steve, they call them oyster crackers for a reason, am I correct?
Well, you don't put them in your soup.
No.
They have a very strong mouth. They eat crustaceans, stuff like that, and they crush everything that they eat.
They crush my line. Don't know that much. Okay, so we got oyster crackers, we got sea robins,
Yep.
flounder. You never know what you're going to catch. Feels like a little bite. got some weeds. Picking up grass. Now, Steve, when we pick up grass, what does that mean?
Well, it means you got grass on your hook, Bob. Actually, the grass, there's one. The grass out here is more of a nuisance to us than the fish. And the grass out here is mostly floating grass that comes in and out with the tide. This is a huge sea robin. Wow! Look at the size of that thing.
My goodness.
But getting back to the grass.
Yeah.
It's an impediment to the fisherman, not the fish. Usually the bottom isn't covered with grass, but if you get into areas where the bottom's covered with grass, your hook fouls in it, your sinker fouls in it, you can't catch any fish. It doesn't mean there are no fish there. All it means is you probably can't fish effectively there.
It's really nice that you can lift those things, isn't it?
It is.
That's a big sea robin.
It is. It is a nice sea robin as sea robins go.
Yeah. And people eat sea robins, right?
Yeah. Yep. People also use the sea robin belly for a strip for a bait. There's just not a whole lot of redeeming qualities I find about these things.
They're prehistoric.
Right. But the grass is just, it's something you put up with. It's a day-to-day occurrence. Grass comes and goes with tides. Usually toward the top of the tide and the bottom of the tide are the times when you'll encounter more grass, or times when it's real windy. Of course,
really
today.
Pushing it. Yeah, there's big water.
But the grass is, it's an impediment to us, but the fish really don't care about it.
And now for a closer look at today's tackle, Delaware Valley Outdoors presents the Tackle Box. For more information about the tackle used on today's show, go to DelawareValleyOutdoors.com.
Well, Steve, we're at the tackle box. And again, the simplicity of this is which is so good about coming down here and catching the fluke.
The amount of tackle that you need to do this is underwhelming, to say it the least.
Right, exactly. Our first and our go-to bait, the one we have, is the Berkeley Gulp.
Right, yeah, the 3-inch swimming mullet, I believe it's called. It's, I don't know what to say about it. It catches fish. It's the stuff they bake into it, what it's made out of, the biodegradable stuff. Whatever the stuff that's in that is the right stuff. It's the good stuff.
Yeah, and they hold on to it too, and it's pretty durable too. I mean, we put a lot of fish on this today, and it's
sure.
Still, you know.
We average, I don't know, 10 or 12 fish per gulp. So you get a bunch of them in a package. Maybe a package lasts you all day. Not so bad.
Right, right. And again, it's at the chartreuse color we had there, and that's on what size?
That's a 1/2 ounce ball jig head with a very light wire hook. Not a big saltwater hook. Light wire hook, like a walleye hook, you know, something like that. So you can set the hook with that light line.
And again, we just have it on a drop. And then we have this.
Yep, that's another grub. Kind of two-tone bait fishy color. But the thing is, it's the right size, it's the right profile, it's got a very thin tail, and it's basically a teaser. Sometimes the fluke will come up off the bottom and eat it. Sometimes they want the grub on the bottom. We give them, you know, their choice.
A little bit of both.
Right.
And again, what kind of size hook are we going to put in there?
That's a 1/0. It's a 1/0 octopus. And, you know, I use Gamakatsu a lot. They're sharp. You hook a lot of fish with them. They're a little expensive,
Right.
but they're good.
But they're good and sharp.
They're a good hook.
And then you have this tied to a little.
Right, we have a little barrel swivel there, and that's where the connection is from the braid to the mono. Now, we had to do a little something today. We had to doctor our rig up. Okay, we've got a ton of wind. Okay, it's blowing like crazy. The incoming tide is ripping like crazy. Our 1/2 ounce jig head just isn't enough to get down. We don't want to put a pair of jig heads on there, so we put us a split shot right on top of the swivel. So it's nowhere near where the fish will see it, but it adds another 1/8 ounce or so, and that was enough to get down to the bottom.
And that's very important to
and
be
catch
bouncing
fish.
it off the bottom. Cause,
Right.
Sometimes when that wind would pick up, that just brings that line right up there, and you're not on the bottom.
Exactly. You wind up trolling 50 feet behind the boat on the surface.
That's right, and you're not going to get there. And again, a little light rod. I mean, this is just a little Shakespeare rod with the braid on there. Works really well.
Right, 10-pound braid.
And boy, you catch even a sea robin or something like that. It feels like you got a monster on there, and it's a lot of fun. Especially
Sure
if you got little kids with you, or, your children, it just makes them feel they got a huge fish on there, and you still can handle fairly good fish. Okay, one other bait, Steve. Like, grab that minnow over there, and what do we do with that?
Well, there's a variety of things we can do with this little guy here. This is a killifish. We can put it on the grub on the hook itself. We can do just the jig head and minnow. Now this little minnow died of natural causes, and we're not hurting it in any way because it's already passed on pretty much. And it's on the jig head and works as a bait plane like that. And we could take that same deal and put your gulp back on there. We'll just hook it up real quick. And now we have jig head killian gulp. We can do one more. And let's find that teaser right here. We can do the teaser and the killie. We can go just a killie on the top hook. Or the other thing is, when I did the old school rig with the 3-way swivel, about a 36-inch leader, the same 1/0 hook, and just a plain killie.
Just let that on the bottom.
Right. And all you do is you find the flavor of the day. What do they like the most? That's what you switch to.
And that's the tackle box. Now, I want to just explain something to you. While I had my back turned, my good partner here turned and put up a different rig.
Bob, I'm going to need the net on this, I believe.
Okie dokie. Tell us what you did there, Stevie Rooney.
Well, I went old school.
And that is?
The current's running a little bit strong, so I went with a heavier sinker, a little bit of live bait, and I believe we do have a good one here. Hold on, I'll lift him up to the net. Yep, pretty decent fish.
There we go.
There we go. He's not a keeper, he's darn close.
Yep. Now, you said you went old school, a little bit more weight, dropper.
3-way rig, sinker, and we got this guy.
And that was on their first drift with that.
Put it right down and he had it.
Let's see if he...
Let's get a quick measure on this guy. Just hold on to the board.
He's going to make 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18.
Another keeper.
Another keeper. Well, look, Steve, I want to thank you for bringing us down here to the Shark River, Belmar, New Jersey. Come on down here. You can rent a boat. You can fish from the bulkheads places. You can catch lots of nice fish. Have a good time. Your family can come down. It's a great thing. Hey, I'm Bob Murray. I'll see you on the water.